You want your next harvest to be full of frostier, more potent buds, then you got to check out the grow lights in this video. And who doesn't want that? But before we do, let's give a quick shout out to this video's sponsor, HLG, or Horticulture Lighting Group. That's who's lighting up my grow, so I'm proud to recommend them to you. Lights are energy for your plants, and LEDs, a light, that's going to be the most important piece of equipment in your grow. Horticulture Lighting Group has the highest quality, most efficient LEDs out there and excellent customer service. That's important. So before you buy new lights for your grow, check out the best LEDs on the market over at horticulturelightinggroup.com. While you're there, use coupon code DUDE to get hooked up. Again, horticulturelightinggroup.com, coupon code DUDE. Let's get back to some grow knowledge.
Dude, let's talk about some simple grow light hacks we can use to become better growers.
I dig. Who doesn't like hacks? I love hacks, life hacks, grow hacks, car hacks, whatever. But today is Frostier Bud Light hacks. First one, UV. UV, guys. We got UVA, UVB.
All the UVs, man. And they get more, the shorter the wavelength goes, the more violent they get. So UVA, they've been using that for a little while now. That's proven. What do they? Thickens the cuticle wall, makes them more resistant to powdery mildew, stuff like that. Then UVB, it's for bud, man. That's the one that affects trichome and flavonoids. And then UVC, I always say, is for cleaning. Those are those clean lights that you get. And hey, we can use all of them. But for making better flower, UVA, and you're running UVB, right?
Running 75% UVB, 25% UVA out of a fluorescent tube from eGrow, actually. And the reason why it's out of a fluorescent tube, you're like, what? It's a world of LEDs. They don't have UVB and LED lights. And UVB is the one, as far as it's, I give it a little bit more help in flowering for terpenes and flavonoids.
Yeah.
And people have seen THC increases. And the thing, though, with it, guys, when you're using UV, definitely read the instructions. Go low, put it up high. Don't throw it down on your plants. Do your research. There's too much for this show to give it all. But you can burn your flowers with UVB if used improperly. And different strains will react differently. But to get into them, they're low wattage. A super light, easy fixture to hang anywhere in your grow. They're easy to implement, so definitely recommend checking out those tubes. And I will shout out to Migro's guy. They've been in the scene for a while. They got some great UV lights.
I was going to do it if you didn't. Yeah, but Shane from Migro, Dr. Bugby over there, really good information about that.
And when you think about it in the end with the UV, man, plants, when they grow in nature, they get plenty of UV from the sun. And when they put on that sunscreen, that's where you're getting the danker bud.
I got one that's, this is anecdotal from a couple of our friends do it. Rasta Jeff, Irie Genetics does this all the time. 18.6 in the last week of flower. You going back to your veg cycle. Normally we do 12 hours on, 12 hours off in flowering. That initiates that plant response to start flowering. Takes about 10 days for that to happen. It takes about 10 days if you change the light cycle for it to revert back to its vegetative stage too. The idea that Rasta Jeff and some of the other guys are playing with is leaving those lights on the last week. The idea is sunscreen. We want them to get the most amount of sunscreen or make the most amount of sunscreen. And that last week they can because the light's on 1.5 times, 1.5 times that it was in flowering. So it's a cool idea. The jury's still out on it, isn't it, dude?
I wouldn't say it's fully out. Keep in mind, guys, you're like, what? We're going to vegetative light cycle. We're gonna get nanners. We're gonna make seeds. The plants are too far into bloom. That's why you're doing this the last week. Some growers the last 10 days, depending on how long your strain flowers. So yeah, I dig.
Yeah, we often talk about stress and giving plants positive stress. So that's one way to do it. And I've only heard good things. Haven't heard anything bad about it.
Like, is it oxypositive stress? Those go together?
Yeah, I think it can. Come on, like working out, right?
I was just thinking, when we stress our muscles, they respond with, don't make me start bulking out.
There's a lot of positive stresses in the world, though.
I got one here. We're talking about LED nanometer and light spectrum, far red and red. So in your LED lights, most all manufacturers are incorporating, you're going to want light ranging in the 600 to 700 nanometer range. That's red that accelerates root growth, flowering growth, promotes deep stem development. But when we get into far red, that's like 700 nanometers up to 770. You're going to get other influences. Plants will tolerate stress better. Some people will use far red to initiate quicker flowering, just as a side tip here. And you can get far red LED lights and smaller fixtures, and as well as from different manufacturers that you can add to your current setup. Maybe because keep in mind, not all LED light spectrums are the same. I know even if you have a bloom in a veg room, HLG will have two different, you can get an LED that's straight up for vegetative growth, more in the blue spectrum, not having the far red.
I got one that I absolutely know works. It's probably the most important one out of all of these. It is changing your light intensity to match the stage of growth you're in. Vegetative growth, you're doing 18 or 24 hours of light. When you click back to flowering, you are doing 12 hours of light. So you are giving them a third to a half as much light. You have to compensate for that by dialing the light up slowly but surely in flower.
Just keep everybody out there. That is a big LED learning curve that we push a lot on all of our shows. PPFD is what Scotty's talking about, and there is a range of it. And when you go to 1212, you're having it higher than any other growth phase. In most all modern LEDs, hopefully you got one with a dimmable knob that'll allow you to go along this range, and you can measure PPFD in a variety of ways. So that is a good point, man. Make sure light, that's when they need the most light. Great point.
Yeah, they use the most amount of light in veg. They're peaking like 55 DLI, something really high. They're peaking. And then when they go down, when you lower that light down to 1212, you're losing 33% of that DLI, of that light. So the takeaway there is that less light hours means more light intensity. It's a pretty simple formula.
I like it. Those are our grow light hacks for Frostier Nugs. What about you? Are you running any supplemental lighting, different spectrums? Are you hanging up some old HPSs? Just tell us what you got in the comments, guys. Let us know what you got going on for your light hack.
And if you like this video, please hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, share this video with a grower that you know, and check out the other couple of videos YouTube is recommending. I hope you will dig them.